Okay, I'm currently listening to a net on 20 meters, 14, basically 295 megahertz, and listen to a guy run the net from Denver, Colorado. He's coming in beautifully. And I just got a half-fast antenna, sort of a slanted inverted V. Sort of a slanted inverted V. It's no good for transmit, but it's still receiving with the preamp and works fine as far as receiving. I won't have this radio up and running for transmit probably for another week or two, maybe a little longer. But this way I get everything all situated here. I got to clean off my desk. Got all the bet tickets ready to go for the Super Bowl today. So we're ready to go.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool, Wayne Taylor, we got you on the roll, and thanks for the shout there. Yeah, you're about 2 or 3 minutes early. Okay, we got you on the roll. Here's 6 CFC, we'll break it through. Very good morning, and we got you. All right, let me do some quick logging here. Okay. What was that? The Mike Uniform Victor Station, give me a call. Roger. Okay, Kilo India 5, Mike Uniform Victor. All right, John, well, we got you on the road there. No problem whatsoever there, Roger. Roger. Okay, well, thanks for the shout. We got you on the roll, and yeah, we talked to you before, so there's no problem whatsoever. And it's just you got to keep my memory refreshed here. Okay, KI5, Mike Uniform Victor KQ 0, but we got you on the roll. Thanks for checking in with us. Okay, breaking with you. That brings us to the top of the hour, right at the top. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody. We're gonna call it a day as far as the old Mike net right about now. And we've got a few things to do before game time. So hopefully we didn't miss anybody. But just in case, we will be back, Lord willing. We'll definitely we'll be back next Sunday to get you checked in if we didn't get you this Sunday. All right, with that, this is Kilo Quebec 0 Lima. The name is Leonard. I'm located in the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. And just in case you want to know more about us or just, well, hey, let's put it this way. We do have a website, which is www.omicradio.org.
This is what they call WWV. This is the atomic clock in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And they are at intervals of 5, 10, and 15, and actually 20 megahertz. Let's see if we can hear it. It's a good way to test to see how conditions are. As you can see, this is actually with the preamp on. Let's see what it's like without the preamp. It is IPO, which is here. That means the preamps are off. Okay, so conditions are not too bad. We'll put one preamp on, and you can see how it improves the signal. Now let's go down to 10 megahertz. We're on lock. Hold on a minute. I got to find a band. You know, this is, like I said, this is all, I'm learning. This is a learning curve radio. I got to find the band here. Unless I could just do this. I'll just do this. Push enter and go to 1, 0, enter. And there you got 10 megahertz there. You could, and there's the other one. So we're good down to 10 megahertz. Now let's see what 5 megahertz is. I doubt you're going to hear anything on 5. There's 5 megahertz. Okay, let's take it off the preamp. No, you're not going to hear anything. Let's go to AM. Yeah, there's a lot of static on AM right now. Okay, so like I said, I'm having a great time just listening to this thing. It's got 2 VFOs. According to the manual, you can only listen on one band, but I found that if I'm 4 megahertz apart, let's say this is on 14, this is 20 meters, 14 megahertz, I can go to 18 megahertz on this, which would be the 17 meter band. I have no problem listening on both. Let's see if I can get it to do that. Let's see here. Man, my shoulder's killing me this morning. Oh, what was I doing? Okay, let's go to 14 megahertz. Let's go to packet. Okay, this is digital. A lot of these digital modes I do not even know anymore. I mean, it's been so long since I've been off ham radio. This FT-8, I don't know. I know RIDI, which is called RTTY, CW, of course. That's Morse code for a user who don't know what CW is. I know packet, HF packet, but HF packet is rarely used anymore on the... and RTTY is still used for contest. Let's go down to see if we can find some RTTY. RTTY is usually around the, like the 90s. There we go. Now, if I had my software up and running, I'd be able to decode all that, and you'd be able to see what's going on. So that'll be shortly in shortcoming too. I'll be loading up my software. I got a whole bunch of ham radio software I haven't used in years, so this will be decoded on this screen. Now, here's something very interesting about this radio. I got to get another monitor, not one as big as this. Maybe a 10-inch monitor to go on top of this, maybe even a 7-inch. Monitor to go on top of this radio. Of course, it's going to be protected because this thing is pristine, and I want to keep it that way. But I just had this radio for one day. Now look at this. See the dust? See that mark? This is just from being in this room one day. So that goes to show you how dusty this room can get within one day. Clean it off here. Now it bothers me. But that's how fast the dust gets in this place. So I got to get a cover because you don't want the dust to settle in here and clog up the vents. So I got to get a cover for this, or I'll make one. All right, so let's see how far apart I can hear. Okay, this is 14, okay? Now let's put on this one here. Let's lower the volume here, raise it up here. Okay. Okay, now I'm listening to this VFO here. Okay, now turn that. And this is this VFO here. This volume knob controls this. This volume, it should be the opposite. This volume should control this, and this volume should control the far right. But it's actually not set up that way. Unless there is a way to set it up. I don't know. I gotta look at the manual. Let's shut the clarifier off. Okay, we cleared that. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Okay. Okay, now let's see how far down I can go where I can hear on both bands. Okay, go to the band. Okay, now we're changing bands. This is 7 megahertz, which is called 40 meters. Okay, so let's turn this up.
they're not even connected to teleposts, but these owners will go out maybe.
Okay, now another thing, this is an analog VFO. This is the digital VFO. This is analog. So a lot of these electronic controls are not going to work on this. This comes in handy for just spotting radio stations, and especially like listening on two bands. Now, see, I can listen down to 7 megahertz, no problem.
Rounded right, and then, because right now on the DSWR is about a 1.03 or 4, right?
I'm listening on both bands here, so I don't know what the what you'd call it, but they said you can't listen on two bands. But obviously, I'm doing this. I've had this issue with ICOM, the ICOM 7600 as well, that you could not listen on two different bands. But as you can see here, I'm listening on 20 meters and 40 meters at the same time. I don't know how far apart the radio can go. I don't know if I can go up to 28 megahertz on here, the 10 meter band. But this is fine. I mean, I don't see any issues with that. If I want to listen to digital, I'll have the digital, and I could do that, and I could listen on 40 meters at the same time. So this is going to work out great. Okay? So it's like having two radios in one, as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, I have the DMU unit here. Okay, once the DMU unit is set up, it will display everything on this radio. It will display everything on the computer screen. It'll have a world clock. It'll have the digital filters. It'll have everything. And I want to get a touch screen, so this way when I touch the computer screen, I'll be able to either change frequency if I feel like it. That's kind of for lazy people. Or if I want to change something on here, on the fly, I could just touch the screen and it'll change whatever I need to change on the radio. So it does come in very, very handy to have the DMU unit. And like I said, this setup, as soon as I seen this and I heard the price, I had to grab it. Now, I probably did pay a little more, being that it's from a dealership. Everything is more. I probably could have, found this radio, but in this kind of condition, I probably could have bought this and the DMU unit for about $1,400 anywhere else, maybe $1,500. But I think $1,600 for a radio that is, like I said, if you did not know it, you'd swear this was brand new. There's not one single blemish on it. I've never seen a radio this clean in a store before that has been sold as used. So, as you can see, the desk is messed up. I really got to, like I said, this is nothing. I got to straighten up everything on this desk and do some dusting, of course, as you can see, just after one day, the dust that accumulates in here. So it's very, very hard to keep your place clean in the desert, even though I have double pane glass. The double pane glass helps, but there's certain areas in this house that probably have little leaks around where the dust gets in, but you'll never find that stuff. So that's really about it, guys. I'm gonna just I'm having my beer right now. I'm doing some little research on the radio. I got to buy my fiberglass 50-foot, 40-foot tower. I may even decide to build my own tower if I could find aluminum tubing, and I got to rewire. I'm going to be wiring 240 up to the side of the house for my welder. So there's a bunch of stuff I'll be doing in the meantime, but I'm just hoping that the game is tied at the half today. If the game is tied at the half, everybody I included in my bets will win some money. You'll win anywhere between $300 to $600, depending on how much money I put in for you. So, with that, we'll say take care, everybody, and let's hope that the game is tied at the half. Game is tied at the half, everybody wins. Okay, guys, this is Tom in Pahrump, Kilo Delta 6, Sierra Bravo Romeo. Stop by my QRZ page and sign in and say hello if you feel like it. QRZ.com. Punch up my call sign, KD6SBR, and you'll see my picture, my old station, and where I used to live. And you'll even see a picture from 1993. My first ham radio station was a satellite station. I was talking up to satellites in space. That was the highlight of my ham radio career. Not career, but ham radio hobby. And also talked to the space shuttle a couple times. You are allowed to talk to the space shuttle when there's a ham radio on board, so it's not illegal. And it was a blast. It really is. And it's really fascinating to hear your voice travel into space and then bounce back about 2 seconds later. You hear your own voice coming back to you. It's what they call full duplex. So you'll be able to hear yourself talking up on satellite work. And I wanted to get into moon bounce. I got the perfect area for moon bounce. So once I start getting into this hobby, I may get another radio, but that's down the line, a VHF radio for actually bouncing signals off the moon. People do use that. I got the antennas for it. I just need a 100-watt amplifier, 200-watt amplifier, maybe 500-watt amplifier, and focus my antennas on the moon, which is to the west of me. I always see it rising, and it'd be a beautiful way to get into moon bounce and talk to people around the world just by bouncing my signal off the moon. So with that, we'll say take care. It's Tommy T, KD6SBR. Bye-bye, guys.